Hey, how are you? Let me know if everything sounds okay, looks okay. From my side, it looks like everything's going smooth, but I always worry. So, hey Rooster, how are you? How's everyone been? I know it's been a little bit since I made a live stream. So I'm just going to see if a couple more people come in. But in the meantime, I've been watching the news today, which I usually avoid at all costs lately. But I'm so ashamed as an American to see police officers, especially, New York police officers who gave so much on 9/11 and have given so much, period, in their fight against terrorism and, everything else, because New York is pretty much one of the hubs of the United States and a huge target for terrorists. And to see them speak out and say that they feel betrayed by the media and by politicians, that they've been abandoned, they absolutely have. And this is so shameful to me. No one will ever convince me that every policeman in America wakes up with the intention to go out and kill a black person. That is completely false and untrue. The 99% majority of our police officers, they obviously don't do it for the money, because they don't make that much money. They do it because they care, and they keep our communities safe. They are what keeps, law and order, which is a perfect example of what is happening right now, because the police are being kept from stopping it. Is, city blocks being taken over, police being told to stand down while Black Lives Matter and Antifa rioters destroy entire cities. It's so disgusting, and I feel like we should back our police officers, not terrorists, because these people are terrorizing law-abiding citizens of these communities, and they're making ridiculous demands and threats that aren't even logical. I think I said on No White Guilt the other night that my brain works in a bit different way. So if I were able to take over, entire city blocks and make demands, my demands would be, drop $5 million at such and such, and I will go away. Their demands are, pay for everything, keep the lights on, the sewer running, provide us food, and let us smoke weed, and just ridiculous stuff. Anyway, my mind works in a bit different way than Antifa and Black Lives Matter, but whatever. So hey guys, hey Harry. Yeah, I am scared for all police to go on strike, but I would support it and understand. Hello. Hey, Seven Sons. Yeah, burn it all down. This is they don't have an end goal. What is the plan? I don't really think there is a plan. It's just yell racism, and demand things that are illogical and completely ridiculous. Like dismantling the police department. Okay, well, the majority of Americans don't want that. So how about we just dismantle the ones in your neighborhood and see what happens? But we want to keep our police. Hey, Ben. Yeah, everything, and that is my main concern. Seven Sun says everything wrecking the country is being allowed. And I'm very pissed at this. I'm pissed at the president. I'm pissed at politicians. I'm pissed at the media. You know, let's just call a spade a spade. You all could stop this if you wanted to. And I know the president is a big supporter of the police, but I'm hugely disappointed in him because this all could have been stopped already. He could have done something to end this. He should come out in support of the police. He should come out and say, if you murder a police officer, you are getting the death penalty, period. That was put into place a long time ago, capital punishment for people who murder police officers, because police officers have a job where they put themselves in danger daily. They have a much higher average of murder or assault than a regular everyday citizen that works, a construction job or whatever your job may be. So they work a job where they are more likely to die. So there should be a greater punishment for those who kill police officers. And guys, I'm not saying that innocent people should be killed by police officers either. But as we have seen time and again, 99% of these people are not innocent. The media likes to portray them as innocent, but they are absolutely the opposite of innocent. I saw a photo today on, I think it was Facebook, of what's his name? Floyd, his funeral, where someone in the front row was sitting with a folded flag, just like they do at soldiers' funerals and veterans. This made fire come out of my ears. He was not a soldier. He was not a veteran. And he did not deserve that flag. And this really pisses me off. Because our police, even our military, are demonized. And these stupid idiots don't realize they wouldn't even have the freedom to do the stupid shit they're doing if not for our police and our military. Especially our military, who have fought and died to give them the freedom to, well, it's supposed to be peacefully protesting, but this shit that the media is portraying as mostly peaceful protest is the exact opposite of peaceful protest. My ass, even Fox News keeps saying this crap. We have eyes, we can see what's happening, and it's not only America. In South Africa, the government and government officials are urging Black Lives Matter protest. Only in South Africa, when politicians push for protests like this, it has such dire consequences because they are not protests. There are xenophobic murders in the streets. We saw this a couple of months ago with Nigerians, and Black South Africans, for the most part, see them as outsiders, that they're taking their jobs or whatever. And this is told to them by people like Julius Malema. So for government officials to openly be pushing these, you're openly pushing for people to be slaughtered in the streets. And things are much more harsh there. You literally see people set on fire in the middle of the streets, and people just standing around throwing stuff on them and doing nothing. Even police officers. It's a gross injustice, and it's an abuse of power, definitely, to incite any of these things, especially in South Africa. I mean, it's a crime, and they should be held responsible for any murders that occur due to their incitement of these protests. No respect for the law. Yeah, where there is no respect for the law, there is no law. Why must justice bend a knee to injustice? Sanity must prevail now. Yes, I feel I'm living in the twilight zone, and I'm hoping to wake up very soon. LeBron James said a couple of days ago that he would gladly pay for Chaz. Yeah, they're being funded by a ton of these people, right? They don't have to want for anything, because they are being funded by people like LeBron James, and also outside governments and groups, nonprofit organizations, I should say, like the Open Society Foundation. Right, urging Black Lives Matter, and the white man is the target. Who else would be the target? Thanks to Gareth Cliff's now ENCA show, people in South Africa are becoming more aware of the Soros issue in our own country. I will have to check that out, because I've not seen it. And I've just recently found out that the Open Society Foundation has been operating in South Africa for more than 20 years. And that explains so much. And also that George Soros has bought up an enormous amount of farmland in and around South Africa, so in other African countries as well. Not only him, but of course we all know China. But there are other people that are buying up cheap farmland right now, right? So the rand is driven to virtual, junk status. I mean, literal, not virtual. And these super rich, evil Satan spawns start buying up the land while they can buy it cheap. It's just so clear what they're doing, and I wish that more people could see it or would take an interest in it, because this is going to be us in America. This is going to happen. And I think that a lot of people are waking up and seeing that now because of the things going on. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that something has come that, shakes people awake. Because before this, many people are just in denial. They go on about their lives like, none of this will ever affect them. And now even liberal whites that live in these cities are saying, oh my God, we can't stop this. It's getting worse and worse. My friend from Dallas, she sent me a message and said it's horrible there, that it's getting worse and worse every day. acceleration of anti-whiteism is insane. This has been coming for a while, but would have been hard to imagine it being this bad even 10 years ago. Yes, I agree. Even I, who have been expecting this for a long time, am shocked by, I'm not shocked by the behavior of these people that politicians, the media, rich assholes in Hollywood have made excuses for, lied for so long, that they condone this horrible behavior. I'm not shocked by that. I'm shocked by the unwillingness to put a stop to it, like yesterday, which the president could absolutely do. And I'm confused as to why he has not done more to put a stop to this. You're right. People went along with political correctness. They went along when our enemies infiltrated the schools with degeneracy. When the enemy gave us low prices, the people liked it. Yep, that's right. They bought the communist lies. Yep, not only South Africa, but America as well. This may seem radical to some people, but my opinion is America should put a full trade embargo on China and tank their economy in one day. We should begin manufacturing our own drugs, our own everything. I don't care. I don't care about China. I don't care what happens. We need to put a full trade embargo on them and cut them off, because their trade depends, their economy depends on America. If we cut off trade with them, their economy would tank in a day. And that's what we need to do. This is our enemy. These are not our friends. These are not our allies. These are our enemies. And there will come a time where the government wishes that they had done this. If Trump does anything, then he takes the blame for everything. If he does nothing, then he's allowing everyone free as you should, while allowing people to prove how corrupt they are. True, but there are several things with Trump that I am not happy with, so to speak. And I do understand diplomacy. I do understand giving them enough rope to hang themselves. But there are law-abiding citizens that are suffering. And that is not fair. It's not right. There are police officers who are flocking away from their jobs because they have been betrayed and abandoned by the government, by the media, demonized by Hollywood and the left, and it's disgraceful and despicable. And in the meantime, we have police officers that are being murdered, assaulted, and nothing is being done, and you don't even see the news coverage on that. And how long can you allow that to go forward? They've already given themselves enough rope. Hang the son of a bitches with it. We are back at one farm attack a day in South Africa. Same as December last year. Yes, I've seen this, and it causes me great despair. So it's good to see I'm not the only one questioning things, you know? It's like, okay, we're willing to get into other people's business and, you know, hold the hand of Israel. It's like, it's almost as if he cares more about their issues than ours. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, why is that so? Why is he so beholden to Israel? You know, I don't know. There are things that don't make a lot of sense right now. And I'm not going to sit and just not say what I think or the truth, because of course I would never vote for any Democrat, but you know, this was supposed to be the hope for America, the hope for South Africa. And look what my country is turning into. It's turning into South Africa. Yeah, I saw that. Some cops were poisoned with chemicals in their shakes. That should be attempted murder, but I bet you it won't be. Yeah, farm attacks could easily start in the U.S. We are supposed to be free people, but it seems like the only free people are Black Lives Matter. Law-abiding citizens are not free in America. No, I don't want a government dictating to me, but a government's first job is to protect its people. It's the whole reason we have governments in place. That is the number one job of government. When you're failing to do that, you're failing, period. The real racial injustice is happening to the war, and that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. But you see, what's happening to the war is slowly beginning to happen in America. It's happening in a bit different way, but it's happening nonetheless. So the perpetrators of the crimes, the perpetrators of the violence, the perpetrators of rapes, of racism, whatever you want to call it, have become masters at playing the victim of all of these things. And we, as white people, are accused of the things that they are actually doing. The statistics tell us that. The number of white women raped by black men in America, according to the Department of Justice, each year is around 100,000. When you look at the other statistics, it's so small, it's basically non-existent. There's not even a statistic for it. Hi, Blitz. Slowly boiling the frog. That makes me sad to hear. I hate that term. The United States is government of the people, by the people. So you're failing yourselves. It might not be a bad thing long term. Well, I doubt the people would tell you that they wanted Black Lives Matter to continue terrorizing neighborhoods and taking over city blocks and murdering police officers. So obviously, it's not as by the people as you think, I thought, or anyone else thinks. Because what's happening right now is not by the people. for the people. It's a bunch of crock of shit that the majority of people like myself, who live in the flyover states, rural areas, middle class America, we want this stopped. Is anybody hearing us? No, the media doesn't even report honestly. No one's hearing us. If they were hearing us and it were for the people, by the people, these people would be in jail, not taking over city blocks. As I said the other night on No White Guilt, when white people do peacefully protest, we know what happens, because the Oregon ranchers peacefully protested because the federal government was trying to steal their land over cattle grazing rights, which their cattle had been grazing the land for many, many years. The federal government came and they literally brought trailers and everything to take their cattle. So a few of these men occupied an abandoned nature reserve, and there's a documentary on it. You can watch it. They were made to look like terrorists on TV. Like, I mean, you would have thought they did a hostile takeover with hostages. It was nothing like that. And they murdered one of these men in cold blood. The FBI. You know, that's not for the people, by the people. That's tyrannical. You know, but it's different when Black Lives Matter actually does take over city blocks and burns down police stations. That's not for the people, by the people. That's for people who want to change the very fabric of America, who want to destroy everything that our country was founded on and that makes it great. You know, I saw a video that really touched my heart. Most people know that I'm a very proud Texan, and I feel very strongly, you know, about the history of my state. And there were hundreds of patriots standing in front of the Alamo the other day with police officers behind them to keep Black Lives Matter from touching the Alamo. That would be probably one of the most devastating things that I could ever see happen in my state. Thank you. The murder rate in New York City is up 200%. I actually did not know that. That's insane. I didn't know they were pushing this on Minecraft. That's crazy. I'm trying to read all of them. Guys, I don't have my glasses on. I can't read very well. Seaville was peaceful until Waco, Texas. Exactly. That's another example of white people. Not that I agree with what was going on or David Koresh's sick and twisted mind, but it's another example of how they deal with white people and how they deal with people of color. As most people know, the siege at Waco went horribly wrong. It did not have to go that way, but the FBI pushed and pushed when this man had already threatened, and they absolutely knew that he would burn the place down. There are other things said out there of who set fire to the place. I don't know. I know that they opened fire. The people inside the compound returned fire. Some officers, some feds were shot. The next thing you know, the whole place is up in flames. And there were a ton of children inside there, women, and a ton of people died because of the carelessness of the federal government. Hi, lady. So Alice is in the chat, guys. Thank you for coming in. It's always lovely to see you. Arya's angry about the Minecraft thing too. Her kids play it. An example of how they deal with people who declare independence. That's good. So I didn't know this thing about Minecraft, that Black Lives Matter is pushing their anti-white narrative on a game that children play. This is pretty despicable. Yeah, send it to me. Right, I may or may not have seen it. Either way, send it to me. You're embarrassing me, Alice. Yeah, that would be nice, right? So, since they're providing all the food to Chaz, they could just provide Jim Jones Kool-Aid. Guys, I remember watching that Jim Jones documentary where he's like, it's not gonna hurt, just shut up and take it, pretty much, having people drink cyanide. Yeah, it hurts. And people are like moaning, and it's not funny, but just the fact that he's like just telling people just shut up and drink it, it's not painful. Well, it's horrible pain to drink cyanide. That's a good idea. Yeah, see? It's a very good idea. A friend mentioned the same type of thing to me. We'll just say a friend. I had a conversation with the same type of Kool-Aid where it concerns a certain country where atrocities are being committed. But that's about all I can say about that. Yes, Ben, that is a perfect, brilliant idea. So why don't all Black Lives Matter come to South Africa? And we will show them what Black lives do. I think that is an excellent idea. So if Black lives really matter, they should all go over to South Africa and see how much Black lives really matter to Black people. Because I doubt that they've ever seen people being burned alive in the streets and hacked to death with a panga and just beaten and stoned to death. And this is an everyday occurrence pretty much in South Africa. And this is not white people doing this, okay? They killed the dog in Jamestown too. Aww. I didn't know that. Ben, I often tell people, Americans, like if Black Americans reach out and start bitching about apartheid or whatever, which they don't even know, they just cite all of the bullshit that's been, just vomited by the media. They don't even know the truth. I often tell them, I challenge you to go to South Africa and see how well you fit in, because you won't be accepted. You will also be hated. You'll be seen as an outsider. They're not going to welcome you with open arms and be kind to you. They're more likely to scalp you and set you on fire. necklacing is beyond barbaric. Yes, it's, you know, it really made me emotional, guys, to see Unathi, her interview with Dan, where she's speaking on, I think she was trying to speak on some of the abuse she gets, but she didn't actually say that. She said that a lot of people tell her that if it were 1980, that she would be necklaced. And she got emotional, and she actually started crying. And, I know Dan, so I was upset with him that he didn't, console her. But I know how he is. He's just very matter of fact and probably not good at, that kind of thing. But it really like hit me in the heart, because, that's a very real, a clear and present thing. I mean, it's a clear and present thing that anything could happen to her. And it makes me really sad. That shouldn't be done to anyone, ever. How do you take care of 50 years of subversion? Jim Jones Kool-Aid. Final answer. Don't need to phone a friend. Yeah, Winnie Mandela, that's her legacy, is necklacing. Good riddance in whatever hell that you're burning in. What does Jason say? That may or may not be true. You'll have to check with CNN and something else. I forget. I'm on your side, bro. Yeah, my final answer is drink the Kool-Aid. Anyways, guys, so my rant has gone on long enough. It's so good to talk to you. Oh, I just saw Alice's emojis. It's so good to talk to everyone. I have something that I have to do right now, in a few minutes. So I'm going to have to go. I'm hoping to get Alice out of the bath sometime soon and get her onto my channel so that we can have a chat live, or people can interact with her whenever she has the time for me. We'll see. Johan says, you're looking so pretty and don't get uptight. You tell Johan I said that thank you very much. He's too kind, and that I would never let it upset me. And there's something I need to tell you. As soon as I get off, I will. Yeah, guys, Alice is the cleanest lady in America. I just want everyone to know. She is the epitome of just cleanliness. No thank you is ever necessary, Ben. I've said from day one, I'm always here, for the people. Yeah, a lot of things have happened and there have been, distractions, but I've worked very hard to not get distracted and to just remain the same person that I was the day I began, and that is a person who does not see myself as more important than another human being, a person that does not see my children as more important than your children, and a person who is a lot more like you than different, and just humble and not lose sight of the goal and what's important. Some people make that hard at times, but ultimately, I dust myself off and I just let it roll off my back, because I know why I do what I do, and I know what's at stake. If people like myself do not stand up and speak out against the things happening in South Africa and against the government for people that do not have voices. Everyone's laughing now. So, anyways, guys, I love each and every one of you. And I'm always here. I love you guys too. Thank you, Alice. You're too kind and you give me too much credit. But that said, guys, I must go because I have a prior engagement. Don't worry, it's nothing too interesting. But I have greatly enjoyed speaking to you guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Good night.